Yeah, Americans should be worried about money, and here's why. A new Wells Fargo study found that over half of Americans, 56% to be exact, are worried about their finances right now. And the study showed that due to the current state of the economy, 2/3 of Americans have cut back on their spending habits. And over a third of people have resorted to dipping into their retirement funds. Does that sound like you? I mean, that's just to make ends meet right now. And so many of them are using these savings not to go buy extravagant things. They're using it to pay medical bills or the rent. And when you consider some of the major factors affecting people right now, it's no surprise that Americans are worried about money. For instance, credit card debt and credit card delinquencies are at an all-time high right now. Consumer debt in the fourth quarter of 2023 reached over $1 trillion, according to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And not only are balances skyrocketing, but people are putting less money towards paying their debt off right now. So why people are getting into this hole in the first place? What is happening here? Well, a big factor is inflation and the rising cost of, just about everything. This is putting immense pressure on Americans because everything is more expensive, but people aren't making more money to cover those costs. Plus, with interest rates up, it costs more money to borrow than ever before. If you need to buy a house, a car, take out a loan, it's going to put a big pinch in your wallet right now. And on top of that, student loan payments are resuming this year, requiring people to come up with a few extra $100 per month that they've simply become accustomed not spending because of the pandemic and all the sort of artificial stimulus that President Biden foisted on the American people. Now, we know that Americans are ill prepared for retirement and have little to no emergency funds available right now. So when you take all of this into account, is it any wonder that people are worried about money? I know from experience that when you have mounting credit card debt, it can really affect you. Remember, I had $75,000 worth of credit card debt. It haunts me to this day. And it was debilitating thinking about the amount of money that I couldn't pay off these bills. I was just paying the bare minimum every month just to keep scraping on by. I know how that feels. A LendingTree survey found that 35% of Americans lose sleep over money. The financial stress is no joke, and especially when it starts impacting your health. It should be taken seriously. If you've ever fallen into the trap of credit cards before, you know that this is a horrible situation to be in. It can take years to dig yourself out of this hole. But the sad truth is most people don't know a better way. Here's the kicker though. Despite all of this, the same LendingTree study found that 79% of Americans consider themselves to be good money managers. Most Americans are simply doing what they've been told. They work 9-to-5 jobs, they contribute to a 401k, and put anything they have into a savings account. Those awful savings accounts with a 0.01% return. But it's clear that none of this works. And if you're using these old methods and outdated systems, they no longer work in today's economy. We'll get back to that video in a minute, but first, I need to tell you about a golden opportunity for investors that's happening right now. Mortgage rates have plummeted in anticipation of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates at their upcoming meeting in September. Now, it's good news for buyers, and it has presented a unique overlap in the investing world right now. Remember, when mortgage rates spiked last year, a lot of sellers started offering incentives to help investors achieve positive cash flow. For example, my company, Morris Invest, and our team over at Sedera Wealth started offering clients a rate buy-down credit. Now, a rate buy-down drastically reduces your mortgage payment. And if you've ever run the numbers on an investment property, you know that's a big deal. Now, here's where the golden opportunity comes in. When mortgage rates change, it can take a while for other things like seller incentives to start catching up. So even though you can get a mortgage rate in the low 6s right now, and that could be even lower by the time you're seeing this video, right now you can also lock in a rate buy-down credit on top of that. And this is huge, people, huge. With the two combined, our team's finance expert said he's seeing our clients locking in rates he hasn't seen in years. But here's the catch. The window of opportunity here is very narrow. This overlap will close very soon. So those seller incentives are going to fall off very, very soon. There are two more reasons to move quickly on this. One, prices are rising week over week. And now that rates are going down, they're going to spike even more dramatically, which will be made worse by two increasing competition. Potential buyers have been sitting on the sidelines just waiting for rates to drop. And now that they have, they're going to flood the market, reproduce bidding wars, pushing prices even higher. If you need a refresher on the advantages of owning real estate, like how it delivers 4 streams of income through number 1, appreciation and equity gains, number 2, principal reduction by your tenants, number 3, tax benefits and depreciation, and number 4, cash flow, I'll link another video in the description so you can check that out. But if you've done your research and you already understand why build-to-rent properties in high-growth rental markets are a great path to financial freedom, then take action right now. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to fast-track your investing strategy. Cash in on this narrow overlap of lower rates and seller incentives while it's here. Click the link below and schedule a free call right now. It could be the most important call you make this year. So what can you do if you're worried about your finances? Well, first of all, if you're struggling with credit card debt, I want you to check out this video right here. I'll put a card up where I talk about the real strategies that you can use to get out of this cycle. I'm not giving you the typical advice of spend less. You're going to learn about diversifying your income streams, deciding which debts to tackle first, and more. So please make sure you watch that video next, okay? And with all of these external factors at play, it's never been more important to establish financial independence. What exactly does that mean? Well, to me, this is what I value most when it comes to financial independence. It means not having my entire income tied to one source or one employer, but having multiple streams of income from performing assets and making sure that the bulk of my retirement funds are not tied to what's happening on Wall Street. And if you want to get out of this trap of the system, you have to watch this next video that I filmed on why the middle class is disappearing right now and what you can do to avoid major money traps that are destroying most Americans. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. We'll see you next time.